If a Ukrainian tycoon is not happy with what the local press writes about him, what does he do? He sues the publication in an English court. One of the richest men in Ukraine, Rinat Akhmetov, is using some of the world's most fearsome defamation lawyers. He's bringing his libel action against the Ukrainian online newspaper Obozrevatelь or Observer to London. Now the journalists are facing a court case they can't even attend.
We will have to ignore this process, as it's too expensive for us to go to England. Also, as we don't have a legal address in England, so we can't even defend ourselves in the court.
Tatiana is one of those who wrote an article about the obscure past of a former businessman turned politician in Ukraine.
Akhmetov claims that our stories have damaged his business reputation in Britain. According to Ukrainian law, a congressman has no right to do business. But that is not something that the British libel law takes into account. And in our absence in Britain, the decision is going to be in favor of Mr. Akhmetov.
The British libel law is often referred to as a rich man's law. It can cost hundreds of thousands of pounds to take a libel action, something an ordinary man in the street simply can't afford. The growing use of English courts by foreign litigants is arousing increasing concern among free speech campaigners, who say the law is censorious and has a chilling effect on freedom of speech.
The English libel laws are extremely unfair, extremely undemocratic and very illiberal, and they have a really quite terrifying, chilling effect on free speech, actually. They are skewed very much in favour of the claimant, the guy doing the suing. And all the person needs to do is to show that the statement was defamatory. Law is supposed to be based on the idea that you're innocent until proven guilty. Under English libel law, you are guilty and you must prove yourself innocent.
But one of the leading defamation lawyers, described in professional circles as an astute tactician, often wrong-footing those on the other side, has a different take on things.
The media often tries to portray itself as the victim in this circumstance. The poor newspaper, the poor TV company is forced to defend itself, to prove what it says to be true. Well, the answer is that not to broadcast, not to make an allegation, unless there is evidence that it is true.
The law says that even if there are few subscribers to a publication in Britain, an English court has the right to hear the case. One of the most famous cases recently has been that of a New York-based American author who has written about the support of some Saudis for Islamist terrorism. She was successfully sued in London by a Saudi for a book she had published in America that had only sold a handful of copies in Britain.
The difficulty with libel tourism is that an awful lot of people come over here to sue when what they really want is the English judgment, because they can go around the world and wave say, I've got a judgment from the High Court in London, ha ha ha, this is vindication of my name, without having to explain that actually I didn't have to prove anything at all.
Libel proceedings against the Ukrainian journalists will take place here at the Royal Courts of Justice. With no one defending the publication, its chances of winning are likely to be slim, and the case might become yet another example of libel tourism, where people are seeking the most favourable jurisdiction they can find, only to prove that England's libel law is vulnerable for abuse from foreign litigants. Daria Pushkova,